Hi everyone, this is Crime Alley Comics, and welcome to episode number 28 of the Comic Book Artist Spotlight. Tonight's Spotlight is going to be on Jim Steranko, and I have a few books of his, but I can only find a few. But we'll go over Jim Steranko and his huge career because he's been doing comic books since the 50s, and he has done them up into the 2010s. So, and he's done a lot of other things, and we'll talk about that as well. But like I said, I don't have a lot of comic books. I just have a few. There's one that I've still got to find. But anyway, towards the end of the video, when I do show the books, I will post a few pictures of comic book covers that he's done. Okay? So with that, we will get started on Jim Steranko. Jim Steranko was born James F. Steranko. I do not know what the F stands for. I just know it's his middle initial. He was born November 5th of 1938. So he would be 82 years old, his birthday this year. So he has been in the comic book industry for a long time, and he's been around for a long time. He's almost as old as my father. He is a comic book artist and writer. He's a graphic artist. He's a magician. He's a publisher. He's done so many different things. And so he has a wide variety of talents. He's been in the film industry. He's done some artwork for Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he's just spread very wide throughout the entire entertainment industry. Also, Steranko is a comic book historian, so he has studied all the facets of comic book history, as well as being a big part of that history. He was also inducted into the Will Eisner Comic Book Hall of Fame in 2006. His most famous comic book work was with the 1960s super spy feature Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Steranko earned lasting acclaim in his innovations in sequential art during the Silver Age of comics. Particularly his infusion of surrealism, pop art, and graphic design into the medium. Some of Steranko's early influences were Chester Gould's comic strip Dick Tracy, and another one was Frank Robbins' comic strip Johnny Hazard. During the day, Steranko worked for a printing company in his hometown of Reading, Pennsylvania, designing and drawing pamphlets for dance clubs and different things like that for this printing company. Also in Steranko's early years, he was given a tour of DC Comics by Julius Schwartz, I believe was his name. And at the end of his tour of DC Comics, he was given a copy of Adam Strange for him to read, and that was another influence on him for getting into comic books. Steranko initially entered the comic book industry in 1957, which was not long after him graduating high school. He was doing inking of some pencil art for Vince Colletta and I believe Mark Baker for Coletta's studio in New York City before returning to Reading Pennsylvania. And then in 1966, he started working for, I believe it was Charlton Comics. Or no, I'm sorry, not Charlton. It was Harvey Comics. So he was doing some work for Harvey Comics starting in 1966. Steranko has also done a lot of art that he has had in galleries and so on. But like I was saying earlier, one of the biggest things that he's known for is Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he worked on that quite a bit. That was, I think, in the late 60s. I think he started that around 68. And then he also done several other comic books, because he did X-Men, and I think, I know he's done some Captain America, I believe some Daredevil, and a lot of his work, comic book wise, has been with Marvel Comics. And he has done some work with DC on Batman and Superman, Action Comics. In fact, a couple of the books I'm going to show you are Batman and Action Comics. So, but yeah, so Steranko, as I said earlier, has branched into many different parts of the entertainment industry. And he has had a lot of his art in art galleries and so on. Steranko has also worked on titles like The Shadow. And I don't know that he's done the comic books of The Shadow, but the actual, I forget what they call them, but they're the small, like, novel style books. He's worked on many different projects that dealt more with his art, not necessarily in comic books. So he's won a lot of awards. Something just went crazy. There it is. Sorry about that. He's won awards in fields as varied as magic, comics, and graphic design. Let's see. This is a partial list of the awards that he's got. A partial list. Let me see. He was induced into the Will Eisner Comic Book Hall of Fame in 2006, like we talked about before. And then Steranko's series Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., was induced into Comic Fandom's Alley Award Hall of Fame in 1969. He won 3 1968 Alley Awards for Best Pencil Artist, Best Feature Story, which was Today Earth Died, which was Strange Tales number 168. And the first page depicted above, which you can't see it, but and best cover for Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. number 6. Then the following year, he won the 1969 Alley Awards for the Best Feature Story, At the Stroke of Midnight, Tower of the Shadow number 1, and best cover, Captain America number 113. 1970, Shazam Award. Haven't really heard of that one. Outstanding Achievement by an Individual, Jim Steranko, for the Steranko History of Comics, which, as we talked about earlier, he is a comic book historian as well. In 1975, he got an Inkpot Award, which we've seen many artists get that. 2003, Dragon Con's Julie Award, whatever that is. 2015 Harvey Award for Best Domestic Reprint Project. And that was for Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Artist's Edition. And then in 2016, Steranko made a special appearance to honor the 2016 Inkwell Awards ceremony at Heroes Con. And then some of the exhibitions I wanted to bring up. He had this was in the Louvre Museum in Paris in 1967. Another exhibit was the Winnipeg Art Gallery, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. That was in 1978. And then the Sydney Opera House. That was in New South Wales, Australia, and that was in January of 1986. So that pretty much concludes my information for Jim Steranko. Let me show you a few books. Let me gather these up here real quick, and we'll go over a few books. And then, like I said, at the end of this video, I will put up some pictures of covers that he's done that I don't have. Well, there was one book that I couldn't find, but I think I have a picture of it to put up at the end of the video. It was a Batman black and white that Jim Steranko did the cover on, and I cannot find it to save me. Crazy. But I do have a couple books here I want to show you that I actually do have. This one here is Action Comics 1000. This is the 1970s cover that Jim Steranko did. Action Comics 1000. And he also did, put that there, he also did this cover of Detective Comics 1000. And this is the 1960s cover. Okay, so at this point I'll start sticking covers in front of my face or something so you guys can see some other examples. I don't remember what I pulled now. I think I pulled a Captain America. Might have pulled an X-Men. I did pull at least one Nick Fury, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I did pull a picture of one of those. I think I got one of The Shadow, and I don't remember what else. But anyway, I have a few videos, I have a few covers to show you. And so I'll put those up here, as I'm talking here at the end, just rambling on aimlessly. So that way you guys get a little more of an idea of the covers that he's done. And if I find a copy of his signature that's legible that I can post up here, I'll throw that up here too. So anyway, that is pretty much it for Jim Steranko. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I've been getting some good feedback on these and so on. So I hope this is helping you guys out, because it's helping me out tremendously, because I'm learning more about, I didn't know all this information about Jim Steranko. I knew he was a comic book artist. I didn't know he got into a lot of other types of illustrations and, movie posters and so on and so forth. Which, by the way, I think I do have a movie poster to put up here as well. So I'll try to get that on there. And, but yeah, he's done a lot of amazing work. And I don't know if he's actually doing any art right now. I know he did in 2018 and 2019, because he did a cover for Action Comics and for Detective Comics 1000. So, and then that the other book that I have that I can't find is Batman Black and White #2. I think it's Yeah, and it's from 2013. So, so that was another one that he's done fairly recent. And I may have some others in with my Marvel comics and stuff, but I didn't see anything on my spreadsheet. So, but I didn't have a lot of time to check that out because I wanted to get this video done so I could get it up tomorrow. So it's Tuesday night. Oh, it's after 10 o'clock. And I'm still working on this, but that's fine. Anyway, that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that you will leave feedback, leave comments, if there's anything that I missed, or if there's any other interesting information about Jim Steranko that you would like to share, please leave a comment on this video. And because we can always learn more about these great artists. And the one thing I do not know, another thing I do not know, I should say, I don't know if Jim Steranko does any comic conventions now or not. It seems to me like I saw something not long ago that said he was going to be at it, but don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. But it would be very interesting to meet him, so we'll see about that. So, I will let you all go. Have a great rest of your week. God bless everyone. Enjoy your comic books. And we'll see you all next video.